Welcome to Mum Abroad's YouTube channel, where I'm joined today by Johan and Gaëtan, best friends who opened their first Little Frogs Bilingual Daycare in 2011. Since then, they've opened 8 more centres in the Saint Cloud area just outside of central Paris. In 2021, they decided to change their business model and help others to open daycare facilities, and Little Frogs is now available as a franchise. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
Welcome, thank you.
I know that you're here today to talk about the franchise side of your business, but can we start by hearing a little bit about your upbringings and why bilingualism is so important to you?
Yes, of course. Well, Gaëtan and I, we have similar backgrounds. I'm French and Finnish. I grew in a bilingual environment. My family is a mix from everywhere, France, Finland, Sweden, Tunisia, and Russia. I spent my early years in a bilingual school in Paris. I started to work in Spain, where I met my wife. And today my kids are raised in French and Spanish.
Hi, Jen. About myself, thanks to my Swedish grandmother, I grew up also in a multicultural environment. And also from 6 to 9 years old, I attended school in a bilingual institution in Madrid. And then after a first experience in banking in Paris, I worked in New York for 2 years. So with Little Frogs, we wanted to give back a little bit what we had as kids with Johan.
Johan, your daycare facilities are for children from 2.5 months up to 4 years. How do you implement bilingualism with children so young?
Well, it's a very common question. Half of our team are native English speakers. The other half is French. And as for bilingual family, everyone will speak his native language. And kids are really comfortable with 2 languages. It's amazing how fast they catch up.
So if it's something that's done every day, all day, then it becomes natural for them, doesn't it?
Yes, it's really during the whole day. It's not a time for English and a time for French. For French, sorry, it depends on who's there and who's speaking. It's 2 languages the whole day.
Gaëtan, do you use any specific teaching methods?
Yeah, that's a very common question we have from parents. So as Jonas said, for childhood, we don't teach English, as Little Frogs is not a school, but children will learn English the same way as they learn French. So it means caretakers will look after and talk to the kids in their mother tongue the whole day. So during activities, meals, readings, and changing times. So basically, we have 2 different teams, and it's like in a multicultural family with 2 languages spoken every day.
Johan, what made you decide to start Little Frogs in the first place?
It's an idea for a long time ago. Gaëtan and I, we have similar childhood and we're friends from a long time ago also, and we have the same vision of the world. We started working in banking and consulting as a way of gaining experience and enough money to start a business, but we weren't really happy in our jobs, and that wasn't fulfilling for us. We clearly knew that we didn't want to grow old in those careers, and we wanted to work for something real and useful. For us, creating bilingual daycares was the perfect way.
It's not a typical business for 2 guys, I would say, to set up. Has that ever worked against you, or indeed, has it ever worked in your favor, Gaëtan?
We hear this question a lot, actually, Jen. But many daycare entrepreneurs are men. But on the other side, you're right, teams are almost exclusively women, as in the administration side too. But we never had any issues working with women. And I think, however, the teams could be a little bit more balanced with men.
Johan, you're now starting to franchise the business. What was the thinking behind this decision?
We spent 10 years managing daycares. It has been a really hard job, and it's only the 2 of us. We created daycares in the Paris area only, and we would love to see our brand expand in other parts of France. Also, we would like to share our knowledge and allow franchisees to create daycares and avoid our past mistakes. And to be honest, we needed a change after 10 years, and we like the risk of a new challenge. For us, it's also a very good way to help English-speaking expats to open a business in France. Moving in a new country for an expat is a big deal, and often one partner will follow the other. A franchise for a bilingual project could be a really good way to start over.
Gaëtan, who would an ideal franchisee be, would you say?
Actually, we don't have an ideal franchisee in law in mind. However, for sure, we need some skills and personal qualities are required, such as, I think, persistence, patience, but moreover, it would be common sense and motivation and dedication to start a business.
They don't necessarily need to have had business experience or prior business experience.
No, I don't think it's necessary.
Johan, do your franchisees need to have had experience working in the childcare industry? Do you think that's a help?
It's a help, but they don't need to. And when we started, we didn't have field experience either. What's necessary is to have a real interest in the daycare industry. People who are only looking for a business won't be a good fit for us. Almost 80% of the applicants don't have any daycare experience, but if you found the right team, I think it's even better to separate the task, because the administrative side is huge and it could be overwhelming if you have to be also a daycare manager.
What are the costs involved in setting up Little Frogs?
Total cost to become a Little Frog franchisee is 24,000 euros VAT, but this amount is not due upfront. First, the franchisee will buy the brand license for 12,000 euros. Then you have a 5-day trainings, which value is 6,000 euros. And this can be financed by your professional training account. And finally, at the daycare opening, the franchisee pays to Little Frogs a success fee of 6,000 euros again. So it's not all the amount right away. Also, when the daycare is open, the royalties are 4% of total revenue per year.
And do you help with the financing at all?
Yes, but we don't finance directly. We help franchisees with their financing. We drive them with their business plan and set them with our bank, who's following us on the franchise adventure. And if they need to, we even can be there for their first meeting.
What other kind of support do you give your franchisees, Gaëtan?
Mm-hmm. We support the franchisee from the location search to the opening of their daycare. So to do so, we have set up an entire task management tool with all the steps to success. So I cannot show it to you here, but we have all the topics described, included subtasks with tips and traps to avoid, for example, guidelines for location or the different criteria. Also about the financing, we help them with business plan, global cost and construction works, everything how it goes that way. And for the opening inspection from the childhood protection, we have all the different templates also. On the management tool, we have a chat box, where the franchisee can talk with us, whether he's stuck or need more clarification on a matter. In addition to that, the franchisee will get all the templates required, ready to submit the files to the childhood protection, the bank, and the city hall. That's a good support, I think, for an expat who doesn't know the French system and administration processes, which is pretty difficult here in France. So that's really good for them. And at the end, once the daycare is open, we also offer a package helping them to run the business, which in another part, kind of tricky too.
Yeah, it seems that people will really need quite a lot of support from you.
Yeah, it is. It's very complicated to open a daycare in France if you don't know the system and the sector also. So, for example, if you want to open a daycare, I think it's gonna last maybe 9 to 12 months if you do it by yourself. But with our support, with Johan, we think it could be 6 to 8 months.
Johan, if you have a potential franchisee, somebody who's interested but doesn't speak French fluently, let's say, is that going to be a problem?
Not at all. We can help people with the French part and welcome them in English and explain them the business, how it works. At some point, they will have to face clients or administration in French, but for a start, it can be done all in English. Yes.
Gaëtan, so far Little Frogs are all bilingual French-English, I think I'm right in saying. Would you consider other languages, so having a bilingual French-Spanish nursery or French-German, for example?
Yeah, totally, you're right. We started the business with only French and English bilingual environment, but we are totally open to other languages. Could be German, could be Spanish or Italian or whatever you like. So it's open to all the different languages that the franchisee might speak or want to speak in another environment from their mother tongue. So we are totally open with that.
What areas of France are you planning to expand to outside of Paris?
We have no limits in France. For now, our first project are in Bordeaux, Nantes, Lyon, and also overseas department in France. And yeah, having a daycare in the Indian Ocean would be exciting. It would be good.
And what's your vision, would you say, for the next 5 years?
That's a tricky question, Jane. I think we could say that it would be great to be surrounded by around 20 or more Little Frogs franchisees. I think Johan and I will be still bringing the network to life, and maybe expanding the business abroad would be great, in the UK, for instance.
Okay, so if anybody would like to find out more about Little Frogs and the franchisee system, they can take a look at your website, which is here, www.littlefrogs.fr. There they can find out more information. They can find out your contact details as well. So I just want to say thank you very much for joining me today and explaining about Little Frogs.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you again.